Here's another breakdown of the book, the story of Jonah, the prophet Jonah. He's running away from the Lord. What is the Lord? The spirit of salvation, salvaging, the spirit of resourcefulness, the spirit of stewardship. His responsibility to call authority. Jonah was running from his authority. He was running from his power. He was running from his own sense of purpose. He had a call to the city of Nineveh. He was supposed to preach to them. He was on the run from them. He ends up on board with other people that were calling on other energies. They didn't have the spirit of the Lord, or what you would call resourcefulness, stewardship. They were just trying to wing it. This boat consisted of people who were trying to wing it to make it more of a non-religious thing, rather than having a sharper, more directed mind and focus in life. Jonah's running from this brought a storm on boat. The storm is like the trials or the conditions as they starting to toughen and tighten to bring you in the box, to zero you back into your purpose. You being magnetized to your calling, really being inseparable from it. So the magnetization that takes place, the magnetism, is circumstantial. Storm comes. Everybody on the storm starts calling on Jonah's God. Calls on whoever the Lord is that Jonah's running from. The people start calling on him, saying, hey, look, spare us. Jonah said, you got to throw me over. You got to throw me over. See, in order to get from one transition to the next, sometimes we got to be thrown over and thrown out of the boat that we came on. When we was running from our responsibilities the first time, we have to be removed, thrown overboard from those people, by those people sometimes. This is what had to happen with Jonah. So he said, you got to throw me overboard. As soon as they throw Jonah overboard, the storm stops and the sea is smooth as glass, smooth as a sheet of glass. There's a fish under there waiting to swallow him up. So this is where you get Jonah and the whale from. A fish is prepared to swallow him up. He survives this. And the fish that swallows us again is another vehicle. Now it's something that we can't run from when it comes to our purpose. Now we're being enveloped in the vehicle that's going to take us to our purpose, whether we like it or not. And so he prays in the fish. He believes he's going to drown all this. You don't have to believe in a man being swallowed up by a fish. It's just a symbolism. So this fish spits him up on water, spits him up on the beach. The Ninevites see it. This is what convinces all of the Ninevites to turn to the Lord, to join the Lord's side. This is what gives them wisdom. This is what makes the lights cut on in their minds as to what kind of direction to have for their lives as residents of Nineveh. He helps them out. And these were people who didn't have a basic understanding. They were more so barbaric. They were not a civilized people yet, didn't understand the ideas of community or society. This is how Nineveh was presented. And Jonah, they were so intimidating that it caused Jonah to really run from that responsibility. I'm guessing he expected himself to be killed because the people were said to be so wicked and so wild in their practices and nature. But the thing that convinces them is him coming out of the fish, because deep in their cosmology, they believe in a fish god. I think it's either Dagon or some other kind of fish god. Could be a form of Pisces, right? The great river queen, the queen that becomes the river. Starting from a fish, two fish swimming in opposite directions to go from the queen and the, yeah. So him stepping out of that instantly convinces them. Now, who's to say what would have convinced them if not them, the Ninevites, being convinced by a symbol of what they worshiped and the symbol that's connected to their worship practices, to see the prophet speaking of another God coming out of an image of their very own representation of divinity. This was convincing. So what you're going through in your life, it's going to convince somebody. The fact that you made it through, it's going to convince somebody, whether you're on the run from what you're supposed to be, people can still see the gift on you, or whether you're thrown overboard and submerged, whatever has you is going to bring you to your purpose and bring you before the people you need to be. Whatever vehicle you happen to be in life stage, you're going to be brought to your purpose. And then finally, when you come up out of what has brought you to your purpose, those who don't understand your purpose will see and respect and choose your purpose for their own. That's the mystery and the coding behind the book of Jonah. Super T Sigma, stay illuminated. Peace.